Hey guys, Footy Focus Podcast episode 9.
Hi guys.
2.5 months in now, are we? So nearly episode 10 next week. So we'll talk about the chase for the footy guest that you started last week.
Oh yeah. We're both chasing a person involved in the AFL to come and get interviewed by us.
So you don't have to hear us all the time.
Yeah. So how's that going? Have you had any? Well, last time we spoke, I wrote an essay to our media manager at the Roos, and you sent a tweet.
Yeah, just a tweet. So this week I've contacted the management of Josh Jenkins and Kane Corns.
You retweeted?
No, I've contacted them. So just saying how much we love football and see if we can get them on. Highlighted the parts of the podcast that we talked about them, and we'll see. We'll
Kane Corns, you say?
He's with Bravo Talent Management.
Your dad doesn't manage him?
Not Graham. So we'll keep assisting, and we'll update you as
maybe slide into Kane's
DMs.
Or his conversation with Taylor Walker. They're having a feud online, Twitter war.
Yeah, we'll jump on that, I think.
Okay, yeah. An update from my side. Yeah, no update, unfortunately. I thought no reply from the to the email to the Kangaroos media manager, so might chase him up maybe middle of this week. And my friend is chasing up on Lachlan Hansen. I don't know if Hansen's good with technology, but yeah. Hopefully we'll have a bit more progress next week.
Yeah, we'll try not to stalk people too. So the NBA free agency, so it actually kicks off tomorrow night, so I'll recap some of the big moves next week. Now the main, non-footy topic or non-sport topic is the Cricket World Cup.
Also, you finished NBA.
Yeah, finished NBA.
Literally 5 seconds. Okay, cool, yeah, the Cricket World Cup. Did you watch any of it recently?
So I followed the Sri Lankan matches, unfortunately.
I've been watching quite a lot. I have it on my tablet, so just at night. Yeah, so just tuning in. But yeah, it's been dominated by Australia at the moment. I guess that's a take.
So have you found Sri Lanka at the moment?
I think the table flatters us just because of the 2 washouts, just giving us an extra win.
2 points, yeah.
Yeah, but I think performance probably summed up on Friday night. Yeah, with that South Africa. Was it South Africa?
Yeah, South Africa.
They smashed us.
Scrambled to 200 and then they got it with 1 wicket down.
Yeah, so I think, it's where we're at, and don't know who to point the finger at. Is it development? Is it the board? Is it the players themselves?
Corruption too. So I've listed 2 names, Jeevan Mendes and Lahiru Thirimane. So I can't think of a reason other than political connections why they're getting a game, but I could be wrong. But
how old are these 2?
Well, Jeevan got brought back as a 37-year-old.
Yeah.
Hasn't played for a couple of years, and Thirimane he's been playing for 10 years without doing anything special.
Same age, similar.
He's not 37, but he's played for 10 years and done nothing.
Get the young guys in. Even like Fernando showed a little bit before he got out.
Yeah, Kusal Mendes. We've got some good youngsters coming through, so we've got to play them.
Yeah. So, do you think England will hold their spot in the semis, or will they drop out?
Well, Paki's they were meant to lose to Afghanistan yesterday, and they actually got the runs in the end, so they're actually 4th. So it'd be a massive letdown if England, who are the number 1 ranked team, and the home team if they miss out. So I think Pakistan will get through, actually.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be India-Australia final, then that should be the
standouts.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, there. So we'll move on to our non-footy topic of the week, and this topic has been suggested by a couple of our friends. So to be honest, I was iffy about it. Didn't know if it was something.
I pushed for it.
Yeah, Shanaka really is sticking up for the person we're going to talk about, which is controversial.
Sticking up.
Yeah, but you want to mention the topic?
Yeah, so it's Israel Folau. So he's it's kind of related to footy. He played, a couple of games to GWS?
Yeah, he did. He was more brought in as a marketing recruit when GWS was starting up. But yeah, he made more than 4.2 million over 3 years in that couple of years he played with them. But he went back to rugby, and now he's been sacked.
Yeah, so he's posted a post on Twitter saying that all sinners, including homosexuals, should go to hell. So he's done a similar thing last year, which Rugby Australia warned him about. So I'm not sure if he was on his last chance, but he's got sacked, essentially. So now he's suing them for, what is it?
10 million. Yeah, Rugby Australia. Yeah. So, this is a complicated issue. I reckon the whole topic, it has several layers. So we can start off by saying that we both condemn Folau's action. Well, I do anyway.
I definitely do. If you've never teased me before.
Yeah. So what he's done, we both agree. He shouldn't spread that message.
Yeah.
Online, and yeah, it shouldn't be tolerated. And he's crossed the line. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it really hits home for me because I have a family member that's gay, and yeah, it really angers me. I know the rate of teenage suicide and just suicide in general for people that aren't. Well, they're afraid to come out. This would not help because Folau's probably top 5 sportsman in the country.
He'll have younger kids, especially in New South Wales.
It's huge reach,
idolise him and everything. So yeah, I know this is. We're lucky to be in a country where we can have our own say and free speech is the thing, but there is a point where you can cross that line and free speech becomes hate speech, which is a whole other issue. And I don't know. We're probably not the best people to we can discuss it, have an opinion, but I'm not going to go much in depth. But yeah, what do you reckon?
Yeah, so I think we're related again back to AFL. So Gil McLaughlin, he's actually told players to stay away from the issue. Back when he made the post, Gary Ablett and Carlton mid Matt Kennedy, people wouldn't probably know about. They actually liked one of his posts. Yeah. So he was told to stay away from it.
I was reading a bit about this, and Gary Ablett explained why he liked it, and then they unliked it. Gary Ablett was he liked it because he was happy or proud of Izzy for pretty much voicing his religious beliefs.
Quoting scripture, I think, was the...
Yeah, so from that's why he liked it. But Gary Ablett did come out and say he has no problem with people with any sort of... if they're gay or like skin colour or whatever. Yeah. He hasn't got a problem with that. But yeah, I think players should maybe stay away from negative opinions, I guess. Yeah,
I think, again, like you said before, I think where we draw the line is that hate speech. You can talk about your religious views all you want, but when you start discriminating against people, I think that's where it gets... Yeah.
I think... Yeah, so he had a GoFundMe thing. Did you hear about that? It got taken down like a day after. But
I think over $1 million was donated to that. When I think the purpose of GoFundMe is for kids that don't have money who are suffering from terminal illnesses or people that are trying to pay funeral costs.
Yeah. Not for like a millionaire.
Well, he's a $7 million, I think, net worth. So I don't think he needs the money.
Yeah, so that's another layer to this topic. So should he be able to like fund his legal costs? I know if he wins the thing, he was going to donate the money to something, but yeah, this is a complicated issue.
Yeah, so we'll end it there, and then you got the next segment.
Yeah, so we might move on to one of our favourite segments, something we are grateful for. Shanika normally mentions a person, and we'll see what he has this week. But we've got another unofficial sponsor for this. It's brought to us by Tan's Martial Arts Supplies. So yeah, I jumped on Google and Googled a name of someone we know. And this place sells equipment for martial arts. Gloves and stuff based in Ringwood. So they had a special about us section, and it had a description about their sort of company, and it was like life, business and martial arts are a journey of development and growth, always seeking to grow mentally, physically and spiritually. Which is a bit weird, because the person that, I don't know, sort of shouting out here has been living by this recently. Maybe not the spirituality bit, maybe more professionalism, but I thought that was a bit odd. So let's move on to...
Stirring the pot as well. But
maybe you want to go, because I've been talking a bit. Okay. What are you grateful for, Sean?
Yeah, so Marcus Bont and Pele, his first quarter against my boys Port, who we'll mention a bit later.
Yeah, so Saturday night game. Yeah.
Not sure if you watched the game, but I was really wet.
I was at the Kangaroos game, so no.
Similar to Melbourne's earlier yesterday, really wet conditions. But his first quarter, so
it was a mess. It was like they were playing in a shower or something.
It was torrential downpour pretty much the whole game. So his first quarter, 12 disposals, 11 contested, 6 clearances, 7 ground ball gets, and 4 tackles just in that first quarter.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's probably a half worth of footy, not just a quarter. So he set the game up, and I think he's probably top 5 in the Brownlow, even though Bulldogs aren't doing that well.
Having a really good year. Yeah. Who was on him? Was he? Well, no matchup really.
I saw a few guys go through him. I don't think we should have put a hard tag on him, but yeah, he dominated. So that's what I'm grateful for.
So yes, that's a good one actually.
How about you, Sean?
I'm grateful for the Kangaroos off-field review. How we're going about this process?
You're dominating.
A couple of days ago we managed to get the West Coast list manager, Brady Rawlings.
Poaching.
Yeah, former Kangaroo, tagger, and he was a bit of a whipping boy back then because he couldn't kick the footy, but now he's doing pretty well at West
Off the
Coast.
field, yeah.
He was a big reason why West Coast were able to win the premiership last year. So yeah, I'm grateful for that.
So what was his role at West Coast? List manager. And
yeah.
now he's
He's a football manager.
That's
head of football.
That's a fair step up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a promotion. So that's what, if he's going to come back to a new role, he'd want to be a promotion. So there was a bit of criticism about us purging him mid-year because normally these things happen on the off season.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think West Coast should let him go? And
I think as long as he doesn't use the IP he gets from West Coast to help you guys build a list or through the draft, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's where I think there's a conflict of interest. I don't know. What do you think? It's your club, I guess.
Yeah, I think I think it makes sense even if he starts after the draft. But I think he can come in, but not like disclose as confidential.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of the stuff's confidential, but some of the stuff's pretty general, like the draft and the top end players. West Coast, they might be discussing a few smokeys for later on in the draft, but yeah. But even his role might be a bit different here. List manager to football, much more broader. So yeah, but I think West Coast want him to start after the finals.
Yeah,
so,
I think for that reason. So
yeah.
How about you chasing any other names north of the moment?
Peter Bell was another one that came up for another sort of...
Getting all the ex-players, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Just trying to get the band back together. And John Longmire is the other coach that they're targeting. But we might talk a bit about that later because our current fill-in coach is doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's move on to some game reviews. So we're back to the 9 games this week after the buys. Did you watch much footy?
Watched a few games.
A few games or a few quarters?
A few quarters, few games.
Okay,
Didn't
me
watch
too.
the whole game in total. But
Yeah, me any observations?
yeah, so I think as a Port supporter, I think, the 3 words that come to mind, just can't trust Port. So
yeah, we mentioned this last week, a bit of deja vu, huh?
Yeah, it's...
we wanted you guys to, you wanted Port, I think everyone did, to back up the Geelong win. But
so any progress from last week, I think, has just been wiped away by Saturday night, so...
Happens too often. Ken Hinkley, I saw he might make more changes, but come on, it's...
You can't do it every second week, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's about the personnel on the ground. It's just... because I think the personnel is really good. They beat Geelong, so...
Yeah.
It has to be above the shoulders, yeah.
Yeah. Do you follow any other games?
I watched a little bit. I saw an interesting highlight with Alia. He took a mark against... who did they play? They played Gold Coast in Sydney. Yeah. He took a mark maybe 5 metres out, and then the umpire brought him back on maybe not a 45, bit worse than a 45 degrees. And then he made the angle worse. So he moved back towards the boundary line. And the umpire had to come back and bring him to improve the angle. So they made it, it was pretty funny.
It's kind of the opposite.
Normally players, they take a step inside to open up the angle. Yeah. But Aliyah, he's only been playing the game for 5 years or something. But and then he kicked the goal. So that was pretty funny. And did you watch West Coast?
I literally watched the last 10 minutes. So that last goal was pretty... Yeah, it's a bit like Chapman in that grand final, I thought. Yeah. Crumb from the pack.
Yeah, they know how to pinch. They know they can win at the MCG, so that's not going to hold them any fears. If
100%.
Want to go back to back. I saw a bit of the Saints and Richmond game as well.
Yeah.
I thought, the Saints were much better than last week for most of the game. I think Tigers just proved a bit too strong and classy towards the last quarter. But some of the St Kilda young blokes stood up when I was watching. So Hunter Clark had his best game for the club. And Caulfield was good down back, and I really like Ben Long. Have you seen Ben Long play?
Michael's nephew? No.
I don't know, but he's Indigenous. But every time he plays, he's really good. He was injured a bit at the start of this year and last year, but I think keep persisting with him because he's got a bit of X factor. And
they got to get games into those guys. Clark and Caulfield were both first round.
Yeah, they were picks. Yeah, last year, 2 years ago, I think. And.
Did you end up going to a game on the weekend?
Yeah, I went to the Kangaroos. It was my sister's birthday, so the Collingwood supporter one. So she didn't have a great game or great night, but I sure did. Because I had the same feeling going into this as I had for the Richmond Kangaroos game. Yeah. So that we'll probably lose, but we can put up a good fight. Yeah. So after the first quarter, we should have been 4 or 5 goals in front. Yeah. We were that dominant, just couldn't kick straight. Ben Brown kicked 4 points in the first quarter. Ooh. Yeah, and he didn't kick a goal for the game. But, we just dominated by the midfield. We just bullied them and were harder. Collingwood, they could never get their run going, and when they did get the ball and move it forward, they'd fumble or they'd kick it on the ground, or it was just un-Collingwood like from last year.
Buck said it was it bloody embarrassing was the word.
Yeah, white flag went up and stuff. Yeah, De Goey was okay, but I thought Scott Thompson had the better of him. My check was quiet. He kicked an opportunistic goal on Higgins. Higgins, on Tarrant. And then, pretty much Zeeble, Cunnington, Anderson, Simpkin just dominated through the middle. Golding sort of nullified Grundy. And Trelaw was the best. Pendlebury was okay. And, Collingwood also scored the... it was like the Collingwood VFL, the women's team, because they scored 37 points. So it wasn't good, and that was their lowest score since 95.
Over 25 years, yeah.
Yeah, and that was the year my sister was born, so it was her birthday yesterday, so that was a bit...
Good birthday present.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cunnington's surely an Australian lock. He's cemented his place surely now.
I'd go...
We can't talking him up.
I'd go as far as to say he might poll really well in the Brownlow and have a couple more games like that, and I reckon... And with no Higgins and no one really to steal votes of him in Kangaroo games...
he's been
could
dominant.
Be a smoky for the Brownlow.
Yeah.
Alright, we might... Should I do this? I might talk a little bit about the NAB under 18, because I watched a bit of it. They played a game on Friday.
Yeah.
And...
so who played?
Yeah, I'm really into the under 18, so I'm just gonna... I might do a quick recap of Vic Country versus South Australia. So some of the names to look out for in this draft are... couple of small forwards, Caleb Sarong, he's a small forward, he's in that Robbie Gray mould, so I thought he was pretty good and creative. There's a guy called Cahill, Ned Cahill I think, and another small, I thought he was really clever as well. He's got those, maybe like, who's he like, maybe Walters like sort of smarts, around the goals. There's a guy called Kemp who's another Bontempelli style player, 192 centimetres, 27 possessions. He played mainly midfield and he's got that acceleration, and he looks like a top 10 prospect. So outside the top two, who are Anderson and Roll, the 3 to 8, they're going to be really good players as well. So that's where you can get your Rosies and Butters and stuff like that. A guy called Flanders was good. He's like another Rockcliffe.
So you got 57 possessions.
Oh yeah, Rockcliffe. Yeah, did you see that? No, he didn't get that, but I know Rockcliffe did. Yeah, that's crazy. Were they like cheapies?
We'll see if he gets picked.
Oh yeah. And for South Australia, you should be getting excited about a guy called Jackson Mead. Yeah,
son of Darren, so he should be a father-son.
Yeah.
First round pick, you reckon?
I reckon. Yeah, he was really good. I thought he was probably the... He wasn't named in the best, but I thought whenever he touched the ball, it was really classy. 22 possessions, and he had a couple of really good clearances. So, and his kicking was pretty silky. So he's going to be a classy player. So and also a guy called Gould. He's like a Shannon Hearn type. He's a redhead, so one of our listeners might not like him as much because not a fan of the redheads. But Gould was really good. Intercept marking, and he's like a general down back. So I might watch a couple of other teams play maybe for next week's episode. And but out of these guys, I wouldn't mind Kangaroos getting a pick around that 7, 8, 9 mark, and one of these guys slipping through, maybe like a Kemp to complement Davies, Uniacke and Simpkin in the future.
Well, that's what you want in a top 10 pick. You want a 200-game player, don't you?
Yeah. And every time I think about tanking and finishing lower to get better picks, I always think about how Adelaide got Dangerfield for like pick 10 or something.
Pick 11, I think. Yeah,
exactly.
After Brad Eagle,
exactly. So every time I think about that, it's like... And the players that went before Dangerfield were guys like Morton and Trangrove. And
guys that haven't kicked on,
Not Trangrove, but Alright, do you want to move on to a preview of a game? Because there's
So the Western Australian Derby. Eagles Freo. So we'll talk about it briefly. So Eagles are just doing enough to win games like we talked about before, but all their losses have been blowouts. So it's been a really weird year from the defending Premier. I think it's a bit of a statement game. I think Freo can really cement their place in the 8. Port and Dons are faltering, so they got their chance to, I guess, sneak up in the 8.
At the same time, West Coast have a chance to consolidate spot 2, maybe?
Yeah, they can probably get 2 with Collingwood not doing that well in the last couple of weeks. I think Kennedy and Darling should really dominate, especially with no Luke Ryan.
What's wrong with him? Is he not playing?
Luke Ryan's the one... He's out for the whole year, isn't he?
No, that's Pierce.
Oh, Pierce. Okay. Yeah. So Ryan's playing, no Pierce, though.
Yeah.
And then, I think Shepard's and Walters matchup should be really fascinating. Hope
that should be a good game.
Elliot Yeo and Fife go head to head. That'd be a really
Yo's
good
so
matchup
underrated.
to watch.
We could do Yo as an underrated player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that should be good. The last time we played, it was pretty close, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think if Freo win, it's really... Yeah, they'll definitely make the top 8, I think, if they win. Otherwise, it's a bit up in the air.
Okay, right. Maybe I'll ask you another question about that game. The ruck battle. Who's it? Nick Nat. How did you find Nick Nat's comeback?
He had a lot of hit-outs. Only 6 disposals, though. So...
never been a big... He had 41 hit-outs.
Yeah, 41 hit-outs, yeah. So his first game, he was pretty good, but I think he still needs hickeys. I don't think... He's a burst kind of player, so I think you still need that second ruck. But he's building up slowly for finals, so if he plays like that, you can probably go lone ruckman.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Let's see. So go on to the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, okay, so this has another unofficial sponsor, and I might make you guess the sponsor, because it's brought to us by a country for the first time on Footy Focus podcast. So the country, it's a land-locked country in Africa. Any guesses? No. And the flag colours are blue, yellow and red. They speak Arabic and French. And smart traveller advises not to travel there.
Libya?
Nah.
No. What is it?
Couple of the Port Adelaide ex-players had this name.
Ex-Port Adelaide players? I don't even know.
Oh, Chad.
Oh, Chad.
Yeah, okay, cool. So there's your shout out.
Who's still injured for the Hawks, by the way, but anyway.
Okay, I'm not shouting out Wingard. Okay.
Oh, Chad Collins.
No, not Collins. My mate. All right.
Cole.
Yes. All right. I'm going to ask you a question. Do ex-players' opinion have more weight than other commentators?
Yeah, so we've seen this with David King saying Brad Scott will go to the Saints, Ben Dixon saying Clarko should go to Carlton, and Lloyd calling for Walters sacking. I think there's always a bit more weight when you're an ex-player, because I think the insinuation is that you've got contacts within the club and you're getting a bit of good info. So that's my opinion anyway.
So with I might just follow up on that. Yeah. With Carlton, who do you reckon, what kind of coach would fit them? Oh, it's a pretty hard question because they've gone for all different types of coaches recently and none of them have worked out, haven't they?
I think Ratton and Camporelli, a bit of...
Ratton
or Camporelli.
You're going to get... No, I think... They sacked him like 12 years ago.
It's different management though, so we'll see. I think one of those two, unless they can get a Clarkson or a Longmire, which I doubt.
Yeah.
But yeah, Oldson I think is always a bit
Brad Scott, what do you reckon?
I think Brad Scott to the Saints.
Saints?
Yeah, I think Richo's on borrowed time at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, I reckon Brad Scott still has a bit to offer. Like, he might not win you a grand final or something, but he can sort of instill a strong game plan and
build a bit.
Hard edge, yeah.
So I'll go you, Shahan. So with Harley Bennell's latest injury, can you remember a player more talented whose career has been derailed by injuries?
But yeah, there's a couple. But before I talk about that, I think it's really sad that his career's panned out like this. So he was a top 2 pick in 2010. So there was comparisons to Daniel Wells, and he was just a dynamic, hard running, sort of silky player. But I don't know. Why do you think his career has turned out?
It's a bit self-inflicted with the drugs and stuff like that at Gold Coast. But since then, I think it's just a calf that just never got right. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's really hard to say with injuries. Like, could it be the professionalism of him outside of the in environment? So that's a good point. Because you got to do rehab and stuff, to get yourself fit. So maybe he's not doing that properly. I don't know, but it's unfulfilled potential there.
100%, yeah.
So there's a couple of players. So Jesse Smith for the Kangaroos. We're going back maybe 12 years ago. He was a gun. He was
Dad played footy? No.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, his father and son pick. So he had a awesome game in a semi-final against Hawthorn, but he had foot injuries, hamstring injuries. Ended up going to St Kilda, but that didn't work out. Yeah. And more recent players have been like Gumbleton, who had a lot of injuries.
Number two,
yeah. And even Cruiser, who's had a stop-start career. And I reckon if Cruiser had been healthy, he would be probably the number 1 ruckman in the comp.
Oh, yeah.
I might ask you something. I think Nick Rewalt mentioned he would donate his brain for CET research after he passes away. So If you were an AFL player, is this something you'd do?
Yeah, I think 100%. I think even if you hadn't had a lot of concussions, I think future players can benefit from it. If your son plays footy in 20 years, you want to know that you're doing everything you can. Because I think there should be a lot more money poured into this, and hopefully they can find a cure. So yeah, answer's definitely yes.
Yeah.
Talk about Giants going down. Do you reckon they're genuine flag threat? They've had some bad losses this year.
I reckon at this stage there's not many good teams other than Geelong. I reckon the rest, everyone else is back of the pack a bit, especially with Collingwood being out of form. Richmond's sort of clinging onto the 8. West Coast is probably the other one that can get there, and the Giants I reckon are the other one. So I reckon it's a disappointing loss, but their wins have been more gritty in some ways. Like a couple of weeks ago, how they beat us in Tasmania. So I think, you can't write them off. But De Boer's a big loss for them. I reckon.
Yeah.
They need to find a bit more.
And Whitfield too,
Yeah, they've got all the class and top-end picks, but it's the rookies and the lesser likes that come in and play their role players that can make a difference and win them the premiership.
100%. So we'll go through some All-Australian smokies.
Do you want to go first? Do you have any?
Yeah, so I've got... we'll go Dan Houston from Port. Sure. He's played across halfback the last couple of years, promoted to the midfield recently. We've got a pretty inside mid-heavy midfield, so he's added some much needed run and kicking efficiency at the moment. So
how tall is he? Is he a tall mid?
No, he's not tall at all. I think he's
medium.
Yeah, less than 188, I think it is. So,
but can he play on talls?
No, I think he's more the medium sized mid. How about you? Got one from your team as well?
Maybe Robbie Tarrant deserves a mention here. He's beaten some really good players this year, and he's doing that consistently year in, year out now. I wrote him off a few years ago, like 5 years ago, when he was sort of always injured every second week, and he was playing forward a bit, and then, I thought he was done.
Since then, he's been really consistent.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a player who was he was professional in getting his body right, but now he's just killing it. He beat Cameron a couple of weeks ago, Walker, Gunston, and I think he beat Mychek as well.
How was he on the way? Oh, weekend.
He had 8 intercepts, and he just reads the ball really well, and is good leadership, and just does all the little things right. So I think if he keeps playing like this, he should be again in all Australian contention.
Especially with Pierce out.
Yeah, Pierce and Rance, they're not gonna get there.
So move on to the hot take. So you've got a very topical one.
I might ask you a little bit about this before we talk about it. So, the score review system in the AFL, it's under a bit of scrutiny.
It's in shambles.
Yeah, it is, Have you seen the cricket do it?
The World Cup one, I don't think they've made a mistake.
Yeah, they're really good. Do you want to explain how they do it?
So
it's very systematic, isn't it? Like, there's a method to
there's a process. So they go through front foot no ball first.
Yeah.
And then they go through...
Depending on the weights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's the snickometer.
Yeah, for the edges and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, to see if it's hit bad on the pad or whatever.
And then they go through Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So there's 3...
Ball tracking,
It's pretty faultless, I think, the way they do it. Anyone could do it. So the way they do it.
Maybe it's a sport, but I think AFL is just in shambles. Like
miles behind you.
Yeah, some games they do the review for every goal, and other games they don't, depending on the broadcaster. And I think they're trying to bring in the bunker. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, the one like a centralised system. Yeah.
So it might be in Melbourne or just an office or with the studio, and so I don't know how successful that is, but it can't be any worse than what's happening now, because at the moment they're not getting it right. They're not professional enough. Did you see the touch for the?
Yeah, I thought it was touch watching it. I was watching it here actually.
Yeah.
I thought it was touch clearly, but
even the Essendon players after the match, they thought it was touch.
They didn't take the time to review it. That was the issue. So
you could clearly see. I think Kennedy's finger bend, and then that goal pretty much McKernan's goal level scores, and then Hooker kicked the sealer a minute later. So I think the AFL should definitely improve this, put a bit of money into this rather than going to America with GWS. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, they're playing a game there, or even with us going to China, you can take money away from that and put it into this.
Yeah, putting into this, because this could determine if GWS plays a home final or not, and Essendon if they make the finals or not, whatever. So even adopt what the cricket they're doing.
Yeah.
My friend Pat. Sorry.
Yeah.
He said that. Yeah. So he said the cricket, they use the same company to do the AFL. AFL uses
do
the
they?
same, review company. So I don't know, maybe
It's miles different though.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so even in the AFL, if they like check if the ball comes off the boot and see if anyone's touched it, and then look at the goal line. So do that. You know how they have 30 seconds to set up and stuff now because the 666 rule. Yeah, maybe use that 30 seconds to quickly.
Just make sure there's no mistake.
If you have a bunker, have one person checking if it comes to the boot, have another person checking if it hits the goalpost or not. So I wouldn't think it's too hard.
Well, Tom Morris article that you talked about.
I didn't even read it actually. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, well, it's like they're getting. I think it's something like $250 a game.
For what?
For the score reviewers.
Yeah.
Part time.
Right.
They're already AFL employees. So
they're not even umpires.
Yeah.
A couple of them are umpires, like goal umpires.
I think one of them was a whistleblower, but it just makes the AFL look cheap, and they're a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah, it's pretty much you do your 9 to 5 job at the AFL, whatever, and then they if you're free, you can just get $250 a game for doing this. So.
Not enough.
Yeah. So what are we at? Half an hour. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? I guess we have a little bit of time.
But have we got Port again or not?
Okay, top 8. Let's quickly talk about that. Who do you think? At the moment, Essendon, Hawthorn, Kangaroos, we're just outside the top 8. So if we're gonna make a run, who's gonna? There's another team I think in there somewhere.
Yeah, well, I think we're 9th, Port, but I think Roos. I think they're in the hot form with them. I think Hawks aren't.
If you do the form ladder, we've won 4 of our last 5.
Yeah, with very sure.
Yeah, and then Geelong's they've won 5, and there's another team that's won 4 as well. I think it's West Coast. Yeah. So we're like top 3 in the form ladder, and our defense has been, I think, number 1. So yeah, form wise, I think we're doing really well. Got St Kilda and Essendon in the next 2 weeks, so another 2 wins there, then we could be a chance.
I think if you make finals, Reece Shaw's prospects become
he has to
that
be
much.
A lock,
yeah.
You make finals Matthew from Prime did you guys make finals the year that he?
No, we did make finals, but I think we won more than we lost, or development was a bit better. But that was a huge mistake.
Listen to Kane Corns; he's a bit cautious about appointing an interim coach as
because if he has like a Roos-like run, wins 6 out of 8, or once he got 12 matches, wins 8 out of 12, then
no, I'd be all in for Reece Shaw. We might talk a bit about the Kangaroos for a second, because if we keep doing this and make finals or finish 9 or 10, but the players love him and stuff like that, then I think keep Shaw, keep a couple of the assistants, but maybe move on a couple of other assistants and bring in a couple of different assistants.
Get like a Chris Fagan type.
Yeah, maybe like a coach of maybe like I don't know who, but maybe do that. So I might be supportive about that as well.
Well, he's got the resume, back-to-back assistant of the year, coach his own team as well. So I don't think his resume is in question at all.
Yeah. So if he doesn't get an odd job, I reckon maybe a St Kilda or Carlton might even poach him.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next week's episode?
Yeah, maybe Bomber Thompson or injuries in the AFL as well.
Yeah,
the report came out,
Mick McGowan, I think. So we might discuss that next week.
Okay, well that's episode 10 next week, so
alright.
Catch you next week.
See you guys.